Welcome everyone to the January office hours. This session is a part of our fall and spring series on community organizing for agricultural climate change resilience. And we're excited to be joined by organizations who are doing important work within their communities to mitigate and respond to the climate crisis. I am Tracy Bulandi, and I'm a program associate with Wallace Center's Resilient Agriculture and Ecosystems team. And so I mentioned Regain earlier. Regain is the Regenerative Ag Idea Network, and that is one of Wallace Center's communities of practice, which is an online space for regenerative ag educators, advocates, and practitioners to come together to share ideas and knowledge, education, and advocacy. This office hours is one of the offerings of Regain, and we have them once a month where we hear from different individuals and organizations who are doing amazing work in regenerative ag. And we usually have a 25 to 30-minute discussion and presentation, and then some time for question afterwards. Please be sure to join us next month, where we'll be hearing from Erica Hall, who is currently a chair with the Florida Food Policy Council, and that is on February 10th. So today, we have Antonio Alba Merez and Lina Nyaronge, who work with Sharing Our Roots Community Connectors program in Northfield, Minnesota. And feel free also to put questions ahead of time into the chat and share, if you want to share where you're from, what you do in the chat as well, feel free to do that. But right now I'd like to pass it on to Antonio to get this presentation started.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, everybody, for being here. My name, as Tracy mentioned, is Antonio Alba Merez, and I work for Sharing Our Roots in Northfield, Minnesota. And my role in my position is Programs Director. And the title for this presentation is tackling food insecurity and access, and with emphasis in role of community connectors in Northfield, Minnesota. And I pleased to introduce my colleague, Lina Nyaronge, to do their own introduction.
Thanks to you all. As you have heard, my name is Lina Nyaronge, and I am with Sharing Our Roots from Northfield, Minnesota. Let me come to the point. What is Sharing Our Roots? Sharing Our Roots is a non-profit agency in Northfield. The mission is to advance a resilient agriculture system that demonstrates the power to heal our lands, nourish our communities, and support emerging farmers. Sharing Our Roots as 100 hectares organic certified farm. Sharing Our Roots staff includes 3 community leaders or community connectors from different ethnic groups to outreach and engage in the community. We provide services in English, Kiswahili, and Spanish. Sharing Our Roots is organic farm land share program. Meaning of the word root. Sharing Our Root believes that root means going back to the start, to the anchor, soil, Mother Earth, protecting the soil and the conservation of its health. Conservation means using the correct methods on how to practice the soil and conserve it. That is using different types of methods, such as organic fertilizers, organic seedlings, organic seeds, crop rotation, methods of irrigation, methods of planting. If I may come and start to talk about one by one, when we talk about organic fertilizers, we mean we basically use organic fertilizers only, and we don't overuse, we just use moderate. When we talk about organic seedlings, we basically use seedlings that are organic and seeds that are organic too. When we talk about crop rotation, we are talking about interchanging the crops from one plot to another so that we can be able to maintain the quality of the soil. So sharing our roots believes that roots mean going back to the start, as I said earlier. And in that way, we also need to do the correct irrigation methods and methods of planting. The word root in our sharing our roots was derived from the beginning of Mother Earth. And it's very important because without the roots, we cannot be able even to do soil conservation or soil erosion. The roots are very important because they are the ones which actually help us in getting water from the ground to the surface and helps the water control. Thank you.
I would like to add Lina's information. Or just to complement the information is in sharing our roots. Basically, our activities or production in community gardens, even in the farm, these activities are based in regenerative agriculture. Regenerative agriculture, as you know, basically is the culture of plants or animals to produce healthy foods or healthy food based in the knowledge of nature. We are following nature, not against nature. Maintaining the soil quality, like Lina mentioned, it's so important because maintaining the soil quality, we maintain the fertility of the soil too. In addition, regenerative agriculture has other objectives or goals like protecting humans and the environment. When we make emphasis in community connectors is because there is a relationship, a strong relationship between humans and the agriculture, because humans are the one who benefits from food security. And the environment is so important because we are part of the environment. And then the land where we grow the food is part of the environment. And then we are talking about practically the same entity. The Landscape program is one of the programs we have in Sharing Our Roots. And this is our main land access production program in the farm. It was created in 2018. In other words, because community members, humans, they have the need to grow their own food to satisfy or to address the food insecurity. Sharing Our Roots has this land share program to give them the opportunity to grow their own food. And sometimes when they have some excedents, they are able to sell these excedents in some food shelf, or just to share the food with friends or other neighbors or relatives, depends. community members, they have access, as I mentioned, to the garden plots. They learn and apply organic methods. Yes, we're trying to apply organic methods, not just in the farm, even in the community gardens, because we believe the education has to be shared everywhere.
Hi, is Doreen available?
Sorry, could you,
Yeah, this is
yeah, please continue, Antonio.
Okay, thank you. In the Sharing Our Roots farm, in some community gardens, this agency gave priority to families living in apartments in mobile homes, and those who self-identify as a low-income families or persons or individuals. And this is basically that's the origin or the source from our uh, program participants in the farm, in the community gardens. This is I would like to mention again, community connector is a very important piece in this connection between humans, the people, and the land. And because community connectors for us is crucial to have them, because they are community leaders. They are from the same communities, and this is that part is yeah, is so important because it makes the difference in order to um, be to obtain or to grow or to harvest healthy food, and at the same time to protect the environment. I would like to pass the next slide to the next part of this presentation to Lina, because Lina, she is a community connector, and Lina has several years working in this area in Northfield, and she's an expert in not just how to grow food, not just in how to protect the environment, even she is an expert in how to treat the potential and current program participants to our programs. We have 3 community connectors. Lina is one of those. And Lina, please, can you continue with the next part of the information?
Thank you, Antonio. Our role as community connectors is to connect with groups from East Africa, Kenya, Latinos, whites in the gardens and in the Sharing Our Root farm. We engage growers in several community gardens with different ethnic groups. We also oversee what's carried out in the gardens and in the Sharing Our Root farms. We advise the gardeners on how to take good care of the soil and to do soil conservation, Mother Earth. It is very important to respect the earth, because soil conservation is the beginning of everything. Without good soil, we can't get good produce. Without good soil, we can't get enough. And that's why we as connectors advise the growers, the farmers, on how to conserve the environment, how to conserve the soil, how to use the soil, and how to respect it by using the right tools, organic fertilizers, and limit organic pesticides. We also advise the gardeners on food safety and the good agricultural practices. For example, hand washing, mask wearing, and the washing of the produce. We also advice on the growing and advice on how to use the soil to get the best results through technical assistance in the farms and in the gardens. Community connectors as a whole share ideas from different ethnic groups on how to get the best harvest. Traditionally, we support growers to exchange different organic seedlings with each other from cultural groups and seeds such as managu from Kenya, kinsaga from Kenya, chilies, tortillas, kale, corn, tomato, cilantro, and beans, and etc., and many more others. As community connectors, we also share different methods on planting and seed conservation. We are very involved with all ethnic groups in sharing ideas and learning from each other. We exchange the produce like barter trade amongst ourselves. We sometimes market the produce from the community gardens and land shares in the community, supported agriculture, and we also take it to food shelves. In all, we make sure that whatever we do, we have done to our best and our people get the best so that we can get enough food for ourselves, which is organic. To get organic food to buy from the stores is very expensive. So here we are so lucky that we are able to grow organic food in our farms and we store it for use. Thank you very much. I'm now passing it to Antonio.
Thank you, Lina. We support our power participants in different ways, and as you can you can see through the voice of Lina, in the role of community connectors involves all sides of this activity of growing food and having people behind that. Some of the services we provide in sharing our routes to our program participants, we help them to have some irrigation systems when available, even maintenance to those irrigation systems. We don't have irrigation systems everywhere. We have a limited systems in the farm, even in some of the community gardens. We provide organic seedlings, organic seeds, and organic fertilizers when we have some amount available to share. This is so variable, but at least our community participants, they have access to these resources. Even we help to some growers in some community gardens with fences to protect the produce from deer. And this is something even in this past year, we offer to some families growing food in their own yards to help them with some fences for the same purpose. The challenges during 2020 and 2021, the help and support from community connectors to the community was very crucial because, as you know, COVID-19 made much difficult the outreach people. In other words, to bring people from the community to grow food in the community gardens, to grow food in the farm, because natural reasons, even we needed to follow some or to observe some of the measures from the state, from the cities regarding protection, prevention of COVID-19 in the different areas and where we do some activities. And then for us, was not the exception, like everybody. The pandemic was and is still a little bit strong. The impact has been strong, especially in 2020. In 2021, we had a little bit more room to do some things. However, we still maintain some of the observance of some healthy measures to protect our program participants and the staff in the farming community gardens. Another challenge we had, especially in 2021, was the extreme weather. In many parts of Minnesota, we have a drought, extreme drought, even in the farming community gardens. We had many days with very high temperatures, and people was there working together, and for us was a motivation also to support them with more reason, because we had a one more reason to support them, how their willingness to work with the soil, with the land, with nature, for us was a big motivation to be together. Another challenge we had in 2021, the past year, was because the drought. We have a lot of pest invasion, well, some pests and deer in some community gardens, even in the farm, because especially for the drought, it changes many things in the outside. And then we were able to not apply practically any pesticide, because we were able to to be with the growers, very working together, and we had opportunity to monitor, for instance, the Japanese beetle, and we didn't have the need to apply any pesticides, even organic pesticide, anything. And then this is one of the things community connectors they perform when they work very close to the program participants, because they are, for technical assistance, our first step. Because community connectors, they are the ones who know how the program participants are doing, what are their needs, what are their challenges, how they can do some things or improve some things in the land. And then community connectors, they are, like I say, they work very close with the people. We have, like I say, many low-income families, many low-income individuals, and this is part of the motivation to be with them, to learn together, like they do. They like to learn from each other, and we, like the staff from the farm, we learn a lot. We not just the one who say, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. No, we work together, and this is I would say one of the most important parts of this relationship. Accomplishments under these pandemic conditions is there were several. One of those is we were able to provide to our program participants some kind of trainings. For instance, we provided farm equipment safety training provided by the local extension office. And this is something very important for all of us, because many of our growers, they don't have what can I say, a formal training for using tractors and equipment. And then this is one opportunity for many of them to learn the basics because the idea is in the future to offer them the equipment, tractors from the farm to do their own work in the farm. Another thing, another training, we were able to help to our program participants is a nutrition training, because we consider this, our program participants, they come to produce their own food, but in the same time, and for decision-making process, it's important they know what are the nutrients from the food they are getting from the land. And it's important they know more about the nutritious components from the food, because they have family. And then maybe in some point, they can include this in their own decision-making process to decide what kind of produce or vegetables, for instance, they would like to grow in the farm or in the community gardens. I remember some of the participants, they say, when I ask them, what do you learn? What did you learn? Oh, I learned then, depending on the color of the vegetables, we can get different nutrients. We can get different chemicals to maintain the health, the human health. And then this is one of, it's a part, a very important part of this process. One more accomplishment, of course, and it was a natural accomplishment when people was working days and days under very extreme hot days, and struggling with when they needed to save the distance in community gardens, for instance. We were able to get a very good harvest, if not the best. It was good despite all conditions, the pandemic, extreme weather, pest, even deer, because they came to the community gardens, to some community gardens, because there was no much plants outside, and then they needed to be close where they can get the food. And then this is typical. It's typical. And for us, it was so motivant, like I mentioned, and I'm not tired in saying that. We appreciate very much the work from our community members in the different places, like a community gardens, in the farm, in order to address food security. And with this, I believe we are ready to answer your questions, and thank you.
Yes, thank you for your presentation. I was wondering, how do you engage people from, the Kenyan communities, from the various Latin American countries? How do you do outreach to them and encourage them to, stay and participate in the community gardens?
Well, I want to say something. Lina can complement what I say. We have community connectors from different ethnic groups. For instance, Lina, she's a member from the group from East Africa. And then we consider Lina has the right tools to engage them, to be with them. And like I say, even when people from some ethnic group there is working in the community garden or in the farm, they share their knowledge and resources with others, with other people from other ethnic groups. We have community connectors, Latinos, and then they are the ones who usually they outreach and engage people from that community. Lina, do you want to add?
Yes, I can add something. Basically, the plots we have in the gardens or on the land share they are occupied by the different ethnic groups. As Antonia said, I come from East Africa, and we have many East African participants, especially from the country called Kenya. And these farmers engage themselves in growing the indigenous kind of vegetables like managu chinsaga, which is an indigenous plant and is actually basically a vegetable to us, and we love it and we like it. When they found out that they could be able to have a plot and exercise on working and planting and producing their own kind of produce, they were very happy. So they joined the gardens and they started now planting. And that's where we came in to advise on the best methods on how to get the best produce. Even the Latinos also came in with their own indigenous plants, and we still had to come in and oversee on how they were planting and on how they were applying the pesticides. And we go from one community to another community garden. We share, we are together, we engage with each other amicably, and we love each other. And we even have a place we sit after we have done the digging or the tilling of the land, and we can share and chat on like friends. Thank you. That's all I have for that question.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Thank you. And so if anyone else in the audience wants to post a question to the chat or unmute and ask the question, feel free. I'm seeing there's a question from Jane asking, what kind of community partners do you work with? Do you collaborate with the city?
Oh, go ahead, Lina.
Yes, we do. We collaborate with the city because like irrigation, the city is the one which brings the water, especially to Greenville Garden. We don't have the irrigation method that is with the sprinklers. So the city brings the water and fills the tanks, and we manually do the irrigation. But in the farm, we have got the sprinklers. So we are lucky because the sprinklers help out. And that's why we're talking about extreme conditions of weather for 2021. The weather was so bad, it was so crucial that even the first planting, we lost the crops because it was too hot and the water was not enough. But then later on, we again replanted, and we asked the city to at least continue to service, to bring us the water twice a week. And they did. And we actually managed now to grow, and we managed to at least to have enough until now. Thank you. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Lina. In addition to that, we partner with University of Minnesota Extension also. They are the ones who provided the nutrition training for our program participants, for the families. And even Extension provided the farm equipment safety training also. One more partner we have in the community is the Community Action Center of Northfield. Even this nonprofit agency also, they have a shelf. They have a shelf, and we work in collaboration. Sometimes we sell to this shelf some of the produce from the farm. Sometimes we even donate part of the produce to this food shelf. Sometimes the food shelf reach us to do some food distributions also, because this agency is connected with other partners. And when some partner, they have some meals available, for instance, from some kind of restaurants, and then they call us to deliver those meals to the community. It includes, like I said, it includes not just the program participants, even other members of the community, like in departments. When the meals arrive, for instance, Lina in some apartments, she's there to make arrangements in order to get those meals for the people living in those apartments. Yeah, we have plenty of community partners in the community, and like I mentioned, the community connectors. Basically, they are leaders. They are community leaders. Even they have their own connections. It's like a big web. This web grows in different levels, and it makes more efficient the system to produce food in the farm, in the community gardens, and for food distributions also. I don't know, Lina, if you would like to share something about the East African group.
Yes, I can. We only do not share, or we not connect with members in the gardens only or on the land share. We also even advise our people, our friends about vaccinations and anything new in the community. So every time something new comes up, we are able to reach our people and advise them either on receiving the vaccinations or getting the food, or maybe going to the food shelf and getting the food and distribute. And in Northfield, I'm very happy and very lucky to work under that place. People are very good. They are very cooperative and very loving. And from East Africa, in Kenya, our people are very, very happy that at least we are home now. We can call it home because we have the food just as we have it at home in Kenya. And we are happy to grow it, and we are happy to share. And we store it in the freezers, in our freezers, to use it throughout the winter. And we actually sell it again to others who are not able to grow. Not even getting money, you can also exchange or give it. Like when we go to our groups in the churches, we have too much, we only say that we have managu, we have chinsaga, we have tomatoes. If you want, you can come. So they call and we give. So we are happy to share. That's what I have. Thank you.
I would like to add, in my case, as a programs director, I'm a member of the Latino community also, and community connectors and we do a lot of translations, interpretations in the community. Even I work very close to Latinos in the farm, in the community gardens. Even in the past year, we were able to expand the services from sharing our roots to another city in close to Northfield in the same county. We are in the Rice County in Minnesota, where is located Northfield, and we expanded the services to Fairborn. This is a Northfield and Fairwood, they are the biggest cities in this county, and we were able to work with many families and individuals in Fairwood. And again, many families, they decide to, because the pandemic, they decide to grow their own food in their own yards, even in their homes using containers. Even in one of the local mobile home park, we were very fortunate to use the community garden from this park, from this mobile home park, and we had about eight different community members working there. In the case of Northfield, we were working in 1, 2, 3, I think 4 different community gardens in addition to the farm. And then we are in expansion. More and more people, they are interested in working with us and together in order to grow their own food. Even this is an opportunity for some other program participants to see the agriculture activity like a potential step to become a farmer, because this is one of our objectives in the Sharing Our Roots, to help people to become a farmer, to help people to grow their own food, to help people to get some education related with nutrition, education related with how to operate small and big machines. Even we had the opportunity to support some community members to produce organic chicken or poultry in the past year. Even poultry has been a traditional factor for some of the food distributions for Sharing Our Roots through the CSA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I just wanted to highlight a comment in the chat from Erin saying that she's really thankful for you all to provide your presentation. And I would like to second that. I have familiar experience, especially connection to Lina, where, I'm from this DC area, and my parents are Chadian immigrants from Central Africa. And they just used, their subsistence farming skills to grow like native plants in a community garden also. So the fact that Sharing Our Roots has this really targeted approach, really supporting relationships, doing outreach, I think it means a lot to really be able to connect people in community instead of people having to do things on their own. And I just want to say, please, if you're interested in continuing this conversation or sharing your work with us through Regain or through an office hour, I just provided my information in the chat where you can feel free to reach out to me and get connected, again, through community on Regain. So with that, I think I can just wrap us up and just say thank you so much, Antonio and Lina, for your presentation. And thank you for everyone for joining.